thank you for joining me for That's the Way It Is. I'm your host, BC. Today, I'm going to talk about something that, everybody's heard. Everybody's heard the story of the walls of Jericho. They heard about how God told Joshua to, take the warriors, take the Ark of the Covenant, have warriors in front, warriors behind, have some priests in front of the Ark with ram's horns. And, first day they marched around the city once, blowing nothing but the horns. And this goes on for 7 days. And then Joshua said, everybody be quiet until he says otherwise, which he told them that before. But anyway, so they done what he said, and they're listening to God because God is using Joshua to guide Israel into conquering the city. Okay, then Joshua, as they're marching, tells everybody to scream. And then an earthquake comes, levels the wall, and then it says that the Israelites ran up into the city. Key word. Now, when I was a kid, I never could figure out what it meant by him running up into the city. Well, they found the city, and they found the walls. They found Jericho, and they dug around what the wall was, and what it was. And here's the deal. What it was the bottom half was a stone wall, and then it goes up a few feet. Then the top half is a mud wall. Well, when the earthquake hit, the mud wall collapsed and made a ramp for them to go up into the city to conquer the city. That's right, it made a ramp for them. So that's what the Bible is talking about when it says they went up into the city. And I never could figure that out, and I thought I'd share that with you. Okay, with that being said, and they also in the city, they found, which proves that they did this, they found grain that was burned, still in the, I guess you could say the pots. And so that right there again proves that it was the harvest season, because they done this right after Passover, which is harvest season. And people are still being skeptical. And that's what surprises me more than anything. Well, it really doesn't surprise me, because people got to believe that they control their own destiny. They want to believe that they will not have to pay for the sins that they're committing. They feel like they have to do this. You know what? The Bible constantly proves time and time again, that it's real, that God is real. And even though they found that wall where it had collapsed and made a ramp to go over the stone wall to go into the city, people are still being skeptical, and I really don't understand. They're like, well, we really don't know if it's the city. I think it's another city, blah, blah, blah. Come on now, you know what? Anybody can come up with excuses for anything if they want to. And that's just the plain truth of it. People are going to, no matter what you do, because they want to continue in their sin. They won't do like Moses, Joshua, Noah, the disciples. Or Ezekiel, or they won't do what none of these guys have done, and that is turn to the Lord. I think that the leader of our nation, that's what they need to do. All these leaders and everything, they need to turn to the Lord for guidance, for wisdom. I was told when I was a kid, and I remember when I was a kid, we prayed in school. And I remember this. I remember doing the Pledge of Allegiance to the flag. I remember doing all that. And they don't do, and you know what? That is a distant memory now. it's crazy on how far we are turning from God. You know, and even though they found the ark, you know, and rumor has it that they found the Ark of the Covenant, and you know, they found the city of you know, the city Joshua conquered. You know, and they're finding all this stuff to be real. I've even heard somebody say, well, you know, the Bible is nothing but history. You're right. The Bible is nothing but history. The Bible is God's history, because these are things God done. Now you can't tell me it's just a coincidence that you know, they happen to be marching around the city for 7 days, and whenever, you know, the trumpets are sounding and, you know, they're yelling to the top of their lungs, that and our earthquake just happened to happen right then. You know, I mean, at that precise time, and it didn't level the whole wall. It leveled the top portion of that wall, so they wouldn't have to go through rubble to get into the city, because that would have been a fight there. You know, if that would have happened and they would have had to go through rubble and fight through rubble, you know, the enemy would have got them with the spears, I would think, and they would not have won. But it didn't. But God is so smart, He didn't do that. You know, like I said, God knows it all. He knew to make a ramp to make it easier for them to come in there, and they attacked from all sides. You know, I don't know what it's going to take, people. I really don't. You know, people are saying that the Bible is just a bunch of stories, but these stories are being proven to be true. So I don't know what, you know, people are thinking. I don't know what they want to think. I don't know what I know what they should think. You know, the Bible is being authenticated. You know, and what else but a God will make it easier for Israel to climb into the city by doing that? To me, right there, just with that right there is proof. Because, you know, an earthquake would have leveled the whole thing, the rock, you know, the rock wall and all that. But it didn't. It would a good chance it would have leveled the whole city, but it didn't. So I don't know what people need, you know, other than to turn back from, you know, what they're doing, in order to get them to just go ahead and say, you know, God is real, and God, please forgive me for my sins. You know, I really don't know what it's going to take for these people. You know, it's really mind-boggling on the things that we are accepting just so we can continue to live in sin. You know, that's not the way to live, people. You know, I mean, use the walls of Jericho as an example. You know, the whole thing could have collapsed and could have been the end of Israel in my point of view, because, you know, when they would have been fighting through the rubble, they would have had to you know, they would have had to deal with the spears then. You know, they wouldn't have had that hand-to-hand combat. So I'd like to thank you for joining me. Subscribe to the channel, like the videos, share the videos, and you have a wonderful day.